interrupters, and people like Mr. Finian make peace. Where have you ever heard a name so appropriate? Finian Make Peace is the co-founder, executive producer of Kiss the Ground.
The Kiss the Ground documentary is narrated and features Woody Harrelson, David Arquette, Patricia Arquette, Gisele Bundchen, Rosario Dawson, Jason Mraz, and Ian Somerhalder.
Now, a lot of you may have heard of this, but that is all about soil health. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce you, Finian, to tell us more about Kiss the Ground.
Kiss the Ground is an organization that's really dedicated to awakening people to the possibilities of regeneration. What that means to us is too much of the world doesn't understand that soil matters for our future when it comes to our human health, the water crisis, the climate crisis. If our soil is broken and degraded, the extent of what we face in terms of flooding, drought, fire, human health collapse is all sitting there in our degraded soil. So if we watch an area the size of England is degrading so much it can't be used in agriculture every year, we have to start thinking beyond sustainable. We have to say, we can't sustain the current broken system. We actually have to rebuild it. We have to regenerate it. So hence, regenerative agriculture is rebuilding soil, rebuilding ecosystem function, making it so that when it rains, instead of water running off the land, eroding soil with it, making the rivers muddy and running all that soil into the rivers, we're actually allowing water to infiltrate, hit plants that are covering the ground, infiltrate into the new spongy built soil, and that water seeps in, restores our aquifers, our underground water supplies, makes the springs run again. So if we want water coming back and having water running year-round and fresh water supplies, we need to rebuild our soil. If we want healthy food, we need our plants to be able to access minerals. Plants can't access the minerals they need if they don't have biology in the soil that's actually allowing those minerals to be plant available. So you have to have living, healthy soil. So we need carbon in the soil to make the life in the soil, be able to get the minerals available for the plants. And it just so happens that when you have plants covering the ground in regenerative agriculture, you're pumping carbon into the ground because plants take carbon from the atmosphere to build themselves, but they also share that carbon 30 to 40% with the soil underground. So we're sequestering carbon, we're building healthy plants that make healthy food, and we're rebuilding our watersheds because our water system functions again. Regenerative agriculture is the biggest thing that humanity needs.
It sounds like the beginning and the end of it all.
It is the big. If there were other solutions, I would be promoting those. And I've known all the other ones, and they don't pale in comparison to regenerative ag.
It's a little scary to ponder.
Yeah.
But okay, so obviously we're all aware of the Palisades fires in LA. We are in Anaheim right now, and of course the closest dilemma we've just seen was the Palisades fire, the LA fires. Of course, right now those homes are a big deal, but the soil, the air, everything that's going to be washing out with the rains expected. What do we do about that?
So a lot of people look at this category we call climate change, and it kind of is a all-encompassing. Unfortunately, it stops people's brains from working, because when you just call it climate change is causing these problems, you stop thinking about the rudimentary problem at the ground level. And so when we look at Los Angeles, I lived there for about 20 years, and that surrounding areas, we're talking about a complete dehydration of the landscape, a lowering of the water table. What that means is the land, the profile of the soil of the dirt is very, 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 very dry. So when it rains a little bit, you get a little bit of water infiltration, and you get a burst of, like a big rain, you get a burst of plants, they grow, but most of the water runs off. Then those plants very quickly, they turn brown because they don't have deep penetrating roots. So we have to say, how are we going to build the soil profile so there's more water going down into the profile versus running off? Otherwise, we're in a wet cycle, a flood, and then a drought returns. If we build our soil back and we have more infiltration, we have it so that those plants can access water year-round. They stay green. That means they're able to be a fire retardant. They're able to slow fire because they're actually wet. But if we have dry land matter, we're increasing fire potential. So degraded soil leads to plants that are dry, and,
Right.
and that leads to fire cycles. So we have a dehydrated landscape, we have to rehydrate it. We know how to through regenerative practices.
Amazing. So obviously you are targeting a particular sector of the economy or a sector of the business environment ecosystem. Who is that particular demographic that you're targeting?
So I've had a great relationship with the Newsoms, the governor and the first partner, on this. They've gotten it quite well. They've understood the funding that needs to go through the policy level. But there's still so many more people who have to understand the regenerative side on the government. Businesses can be really big in this because businesses are sourcing from farms, and farms are either regenerating or degenerating our land. So if you have regenerative ag and you're a company that's taking beef or oranges or whatever produce is helping regenerate or degenerate or rehydrate or dehydrate, you as a consumer can then be in charge of, hey, I'm actually helping regenerate, rehydrate the land versus dehydrate or degenerate the land. So businesses, government, consumers are all a big part of it.
Amazing. So for anyone who has not watched your super incredible documentary, where can they find it? Title it once more for them and direct them to where they can watch this.
So exciting news. Kiss the Ground is the first film. Common Ground is the follow-up film. Both films are coming to Amazon on April 22nd, Earth Day. We'll have a big, massive worldwide screening of the event on April 22nd. We're working on the third film, Groundswell, but kisstheground.com, the organization, we have tons of education material. We have a 90-minute course people can take to learn the basics of regenerative ag, why it's a climate, water, human health solution, but countless other short films people can learn the subject matter. But we're an education nonprofit that's helping people to understand this, and we've been a big reason a lot of the businesses are moving in here because we help them learn the basics. And everyone needs to know the basics because the conventional thinking is that we can somehow sustain our way out of this or conserve our way out of this. We have to regenerate our way out of this, period.
I love it. Thank you so much. Guys, check it out and stay tuned for more.
Kisstheground.com.
Kiss.
The Harvest Podcast available anywhere you watch and listen to podcasts, but do follow us on YouTube.